The definition of yoga is to yoke, bringing the body, mind, and breath together in harmony. By simple meditation practices, body awareness practices, and breath control, practicing yoga is defined. And most people think of yoga, they think about the asana part of yoga. That's one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And that's all they know. And so they shy away from yoga, not realizing the other benefits that yoga has to offer. So yoga is about centering in, focusing in, and noticing how we're navigating through the world in this vessel, in this body that we've been blessed with. What are our thoughts like? What are we focusing on? Through meditation, we can maybe calm the fluctuations of the mind and focus in on those things that are more edifying, as opposed to just allowing our minds to run wild. And those practices, the meditative practices, are pratyahara, dhyana, dhyana, and samadhi, 4 of the 8 limbs of yoga. So that part of yoga is really very powerful, because most of the time we let our thoughts run rampant, as opposed to focusing in and really noticing and being mindful of what's going on in our world, in our universe. Or maybe we've been conditioned to think a certain way, and we never really take the time to just sit and observe our being, our person, and how we operate and how we feel connected to the earth or not connected to the earth based on what it is that we've been taught. So the meditative practices of yoga help us to focus in and become aware of our being and how we're functioning in the earth. Yoga is going to help us to attain what has been previously unattainable. And maybe the things that have been previously unattainable are clarity, peace, joy, happiness, and all of those things are the fruits of yoga practices. Yoga helps us to be present in every motion, present in every action, present in every moment of our being. It makes us focus in on what's important and what drives us, what moves us. So there are 8 limbs of yoga. I just talked about a couple of them. And the 4 limbs of yoga that I did not talk about are the yamas and the niyamas. Asana I did talk about, and pranayama. So the yamas are really the code of moral conduct, to help us to look at ourselves and how we interact with others, moral conduct. So there's ahimsa, that's one of the first stages of the yamas. And then there's satya, truth. Ahimsa is non-hurting or non-violence, okay? Satya is truth. Those are the first 2. And then with the niyamas are observances. And the first niyama is satya, and that's cleanliness. And another one of the niyamas is swadhyaya, which means that you focus in on yourself, on your being, and what makes you tick, pretty much. Okay, the pranayama part of yoga is the breathing part of yoga, control of the breath, conscious breathing. I like to talk about it as conscious breathing to help calm the fluctuations of the mind. When you control the flow of breath in and out of your body, it tells your brain that everything is okay. There's normal respiration going on. You're not breathing with your chest, you're not panting, gasping for air. You have smooth, controlled breathing. And whatever pranayama practice you choose to do, and there are several different ones, you can either calm your mind down or you can energize your body. If you're lacking energy, you can do a breath exercise, the skull cleansing breath, to help give you some energy to get through the day. So the breath is very powerful, and if you learn how to control your breathing, it may help you navigate the world a little easier. All right, and then there's pratyahara, which is the first step of meditation. And pratyahara, the definition is withdrawal of the senses, or separating yourself from the chaos of the world, or separating yourself into your prayer closet, so that you can really focus in on your thoughts and your breathing and so forth. All right. So the asana part of yoga is the posture part of yoga. It's really proprioceptive training. How is your body functioning in the earth? What does your body feel like when you're in certain postures? Sometimes when you're holding yoga positions, for instance, in a warrior 2 position, you're holding, and eventually you're going to start to feel some heat while you're holding there. And that heat is referred to as tapas in yoga. And so if you think about tapas in yoga, it's about holding through the pain, or maintaining, or perseverance, determination, drive to hold on or to push through whatever is necessary in order to help you navigate through the world. So that tapas, that pain, it could be a circumstance that you have to push through. If you take it to a meditative level, a circumstance that you may need to push through, or something that you need to contemplate and really focus in on. And maybe it's something painful. Maybe it's a painful childhood memory, a trauma that you experienced. You're going to try to apply the principles of asana and proprioceptive training, pushing through and holding and being determined. All of those things can be related to the asana. And some asanas cause you to twist your body and squeeze your body in different directions, just waking up some of the organs of your body, massaging the organs of your body to help those organs to function more effectively. So you challenge them a little bit, you make them move differently, or just to drain the lymphatic system, to keep the lymph from accumulating in certain parts of the body. You do twisting type asanas to release that lymph so that it can flow through your body easily. Okay, so that's a little bit about yoga. There are 8 limbs of yoga. Yoga is for everyone. Yoga eventually will help you get to a place of clarity where you can really center in and focus in, and maybe appreciate the higher power that exists, and taking ourselves away from being so bound and chaos and confusion, and being trapped in our bodies, freeing ourselves to be able to reach a place where we feel free, or we feel attached, or we feel the power of the divine, the ultimate creative force. Okay, and that can be whatever you want it to be. Most people, some people, shy away from yoga because they think it's a spiritual thing, it's a religion. Well, yoga is not a religion. Yoga is a way of life. There are tools that you can learn from doing yoga practices that will help you just to become more aware of how you're existing in the world. Yoga is very powerful. I have a story. Everybody has a story. People that are really engaged in yoga, if you talk to them to hear their stories, and how yoga has helped them change or enhance their lives, you will get a better understanding of the power of yoga. Thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of this. If you would like to talk more about yoga, or you want some coaching with regards to yoga, or beginning a yoga practice, all of the details that you will need, you will find below. Peace and love. Namaste.